So I promised I'd keep doing these videos because I seem to get quite a good response from them. So number 3 in a row. I'm proud of myself. So we're 8 weeks now from the PCA British. This has been the first week where the energy's dropped a bit. Well, not a bit. Yeah, I would say a bit. Wednesday and Thursday, it was very noticeable. I noticed changes in my mood, the way I carry myself, this, that and this. But as I've said to a lot of people, is that you become numb to dieting. You just get used to not feeling right, or not necessarily feeling right, but not kind of feeling 100%. You just get used to feeling like that. It's like when you have a runny nose for weeks on end, you just accept that that's your life now, that your nose is gonna run. So that's the parallel I'm putting between the two, is that prep's like a runny nose. But now it's the weekend, kind of rest up a wee bit. Not necessarily in terms of food, but just because you're kind of sitting about a wee bit more. Doing things about the flat and stuff like that, just trying to stay a little bit more at ease and just kind of keeping the expenditure down. So this past week was another £2 loss. If we're looking across the week as a whole, noticeable changes. So Nick Vandal and I kind of agreed that nothing needs to be done this week due to the fact that I've come in quite a bit. So my weight has fluctuated. This week has been the worst for fluctuations. But it's a scale. You don't let it get to you. You don't let the numbers kind of dictate how you're feeling. You have to move away from emotional ties towards scales. That's a lot easier for some people than others. For me, it's just another thing. It's just another thing of products. Like, do you really think overnight you've added £3 of fat? Of course you haven't. That's chemically and physically impossible. You just can't do that. You can't control every aspect of your body as much as you'd like to think you can. In terms of water fluctuation, hormone fluctuations, especially in women. So the stuff you eat the night before, maybe the digestion's a little bit slower, but just go by the mirror. Go by the mirror. People talking about scans this and fancy machines that and all that sort of shit. The mirror tells the whole fucking story. Right? If we're taking it away from the competition aspect and you're in a nightclub or something, do you think the opposite sex is going to come up to you and say, what's your score on the fucking DEXA scan? No, they don't. No one cares. Or even your weight, they don't care. It matters about how you look, and in a competition aspect is about how you look. If you look good at a certain weight, then that's just the way of it. You look good at that weight, and if you win at that weight, then you've won at that weight. I've got clients who have worked with for a long time, so I'm not allowed, but I feel I'm able to speak to them in this sense. One who he doesn't keep on top of social media, so I'm going to call him out anyway on this. When he's on prep, he tells me his weight every day. Now, there are times in competition prep that I do want to know your weight every day. It's usually just the last week though. But if he's telling me his weight every day from 16 weeks out and he's having a wee panic every day, I have messaged back saying, mate, I don't care. I don't care what your weight is. Or I just don't respond to that message because it doesn't matter. So much emphasis is put on a wee dial on the floor, and that dictates then if you have a bad weigh-in, then you then go and say your outlook towards a session is going to be different, your outlook towards a day is going to be different. All these certain aspects that people forget will be influenced by how you feel. And the number one best way to set yourself for a bad day is to care what the scale says. Yes, drops are good, or if we're looking to gain weight, increases are good, but look at the grand scheme of things in the mirror in your reflection. That's what matters. And over the years, I didn't even weigh myself in my first 2 preps. I didn't even step on a scale once over 2 20-week preps. I went all by the mirror. And I think that's why I've got a better relationship with the scales than most people, is because I've done 2 diets with just a mirror, and they paid off. So you got to remember, you're not showing up to a Weight Watchers meeting at the local community centre. You got to remember that. That's not what this is. This isn't a weight loss competition, right? That's what Biggest Loser and all that's kind of for. Anyway, I'm £2 lighter this week. But in terms of the condition's number one, and I'm very kind of happy where I am just now. Way ahead of where I was before at the start of the year at this weight. So in terms of the definition and the condition that's coming through, it looks a lot different at this weight than it did at the start of the year. So have I added tissue? I don't know. My strength definitely doesn't kind of back that up, but just the composition's different, and that's always nice going forward. Appetite has been I'm always ravenous, even in off season when I'm on 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 calories, I'm ravenous all the time. So the appetite thing doesn't change for me. Dealing with it, again, we go back to the kind of weight scenario. Just deal with it. Just fucking deal with it. Like, I had a client this week ask me about kind of ways of suppressing appetite. And I remember years ago, I don't know how long ago this was, but I remember Jordan Peters putting up a question from a client, and the client was basically saying, is there any way, what's the best way to suppress appetite? And he said discipline. That's it, one word answer. I said discipline. People doing fucking this product, that product, this, that and this to suppress appetite. For fuck's sake, what were you expecting from a diet? What were you expecting? Were you expecting to be happy and stuffed all the time? Like, is that genuinely what people expect on a contest prep? Or even just a diet in general? Like, it's like saying, I'm going to go play football, but I don't want to get muddy. If you want to compete in bodybuilding, you're going to be starving for most of the time. You will be starving most of the time. So people who have competed quite a lot and have had a good history in the sport and a good competition run, they'll tell you, like, yeah, they're hungry and they're like that, but you just get on with it. You just man up and get on with it. Not even man up, because you just become accustomed to being hungry all the time and always wanting more food and this, that and this. If that is your main concern about masking appetite, then this isn't for you. This flat out isn't for you. You need to starve. You need to fucking starve. I don't care what Instagram celebrity, YouTube celebrity tells you. You need to starve. You will be starving at some. Yes, people lose body fat easier than others. Some do have to do more drastic things than others. But everyone starves and suffers at some point during a contest prep. That's just it. That's the reality. You should not feel good. Yeah, we all watch. I mean, Luke Sander put it in I think it's a podcast with Fawad Abiad, and he said he does feel good, but that's because he was in such a dark place in the other preps. That's why he feels good now, because he had to push his body to such an extent in previous preps. So maybe he's just comparing. Maybe he does feel like utter shite, but not as bad as he did before. I've done 2 hours of cardio, 0 carbs on weeks on end, and I know how bad that feels. And I'm not at that point, but yeah, I could eat a whole fucking wedding cake if I wanted to, because my appetite's that ravenous. There are times where like just pushing myself off the couch is so hard because you are starving. I said this before, I was like, you sit on the couch and you're like, I need to go to the toilet. But you know, I'm so fucked. I think I'd rather just put myself through pissing on this couch and ruining my couch than actually picking up the energy to actually go to the toilet. That's the states that I've been in, where you contemplate fucking pissing yourself like a fucking baby because you can't be arsed getting off the couch and going to the toilet. People don't understand that. So yeah, discipline's number one. You can use fizzy drinks all you want, coffee all you want. They do help slightly for about 5 minutes. Drinking water all the time, but deal with it. Just deal with it. That's dieting, tough shit, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's my wee side rant about appetite there, and about adherence. As a PT, obviously, and we've all got clients and that who we know that adherence is an extremely tough issue. I can only be so motivating. There's PTs with stronger personalities than me that can only be so motivating. At the end of the day, if you don't want to adhere to a diet, you're not going to adhere to it. That's it. I can't do fuck all about that. I'm not pulling you through a diet or a prep. No chance. You've got to have that inside you. For me, when I'm hanging, when I can barely talk, when I'm starving, when I can barely move, I like that. I like that feeling, because I know my body's sitting there rattling through body fat, and I know in 3 days' time I'm going to look better. That's the driving force behind, or I see that's where I get the motivation to kind of push myself through those moments. And yeah, that's why I do it. I just remind myself of what you're doing this for, and realise that you're going to look better later. Once the prep's done, go and stuff your fucking face and be full all the time. It's only a 20 to 12 week prep. Like, you're only starving for that amount of time. For God's sake, like, it's just so meh. You know what I mean? No, I mean, I'm talking to a camera. So that's why, again, I'll go back to that. That's my wee rant on that shit. But for me, going forward, no changes this week. Cardio is sitting the same. Nice wee 30 minutes on my training days, apart from leg day. Nice wee 45 on the rest days. Yeah, food's pretty good. 350 carbs on a training day, which is low for me. Not bragging or anything. But it's all going good, and we're all happy on all fronts. So 8 weeks today. Hopefully I just blow the PCA British out of the water in terms of the look and the presentation that I bring there, which I'm pretty confident that is going to happen. Coming up, there's nothing really coming up. Life's boring, life's prep, life's doing nothing. Yeah, that's about it for me for this week. So I think that's it. See you next week.